This video is in regards to my custom playbook scheme for those on Xbox One that don't have access to my custom playbook on the PlayStation 4. Now, you can still be on the PlayStation 4 and use this knowledge to your advantage, but if you're trying to emulate my custom trio scheme or even my single back wide trip scheme or anything that I post, here's how we go and do it. So we're going to use, say, run balanced, for example, and the reason we're going to do that is because it has limited plays. So I don't have to delete as much as I normally would. So to create a custom playbook, the way that I do it, with all the formations side by side so that you have all your schemes compartmentalized, like for example, the gun trio. What we want to do is pick the run balance playbook, and we're going to go to the formations, my playbook, and we're going to delete all of the sets. So just keep pressing triangle and then keep deleting. Just go up, delete, triangle, up, delete. Shotgun, double flex, doubles on, delete that. And then when you get to the spread formation, okay, it's going to end up with one play anyway, so don't delete that. You want to still have that so you can take advantage of all the plays that come with the spread. Then when it comes to single back, you want to do it for all of these. Even jumbo heavy, not sure why you'd ever want to get rid of that. One of the best formations in the game, but that's okay. Twin tight end slot, you don't want to get rid of if we're using this particular playbook. And we'll also get rid of that. So now let's go to strong. We'll get rid of everything that's in there. Weak, we get rid of everything that's in there. Weak tight twins, wildcat if you want to, just get rid of everything. So now what's going to happen is you're going to be left with three formations. Actually, you know what? I apologize. We can get rid of the dice slot out of this. Okay. I forgot. We can get rid of that. So we're actually going to have two formations. Okay. Now, some of these formations have to stay in. You can't go with a completely empty playbook. That's why, depending on what playbook you want, right? Like say your main scheme is out of the 1-2-2 personnel. Okay. But you don't want twin tight end slot. Well, you might want to choose a different playbook because that's going to be the first formation that appears in your shotgun or your single back 1-2-2 sets every single time. So you might want to be able to get rid of that, right? So this is what we do. Okay, so we set it bare. Then we go and we run that and we save it. Okay, so now we've got a playbook that is completely saved with everything deleted. So if any mistakes happen, and without having to go back and do all that stuff again, we've got it set. So now what we do is we go to all plays. So we want to start the scheme. So if you're on the Xbox One, you want to start the gun trips tight end with all the other stuff that I've shown. Is what we do is we go and we add 1, 2, 3, 4 plays. Then what we're going to do is if we 100% want this to be the first set in the book, we save it now. Okay? So I'm just going to save it over top of this, even though if I'm you, create a second one like custom run B2. So let's save it over top. What that's going to do is it's going to make sure that it's the first gun formation in the book. Now, because we have shotgun spread, okay, by default, gun spread is going to be the first formation, but as soon as you go over 1, trips tight end is going to be there. And it's okay because we're not going to see gun spread unless we're using shotgun 4 wide receiver. So I'll get more into that in a second. Okay, so now trips tight end is the very, very first one. You want to do this with all of them, okay? So let's say we're going to come to all the trios here, okay? So trio falcon, trio offset weak. What's the second one that you want? Whatever the second one is, go and add 4 plays and then save it. I'm just going to do it all at once because it doesn't matter. Now, the reason I'm doing 4 is just because I don't want to take the time to sit here and add like a bunch of stuff and be all particular without knowing if it's worked or not. Okay, you want to always go back and make sure that everything works. So you got your bare playbook that you can always go back to at this starting point. And you just basically, it's checkpoints is what you're trying to accomplish, okay? You're creating yourself checkpoints where if you've got yourself in a situation where You've created a good book, and then you add stuff to it, right? And that doesn't work. Go back to the last point where everything was fine, and just keep trying to advance that playbook. And every time you add one or two formations, you go into practice and you check. And if everything's all good, then you save, and that's your main playbook. You save it over top of your old one. If everything is good, you save it over top. If it's not, then you go back to that main file where everything was last good, and then try and add everything to your playbook. So basically, you are going to be going back and forth between practice mode and between your custom playbook and checking stuff. And it, obviously you can see the loading screen. It does take a while, right? So it can be a little time consuming, but that's okay. So now, as I said, we come here and spread is going to be the first formation. But as you see right here, now we've got everything side by side. So this is all empty. Everything's all empty, right? So now we just go into trips tight end. We call a play. And now we see we haven't set our audibles. That's something that's the next stage. Okay, once you've got everything good. But see, everything is here side by side. Spread doesn't show up because it's not part of the personnel. So all of our scheming is side by side. So now we just have that quick little adjustment. As you see, we went from one formation to the other. Barely anything changed. Let's go to trips tight end. Let's go to slot stick. Okay, small little movement. And we're good to go. So that is how you create a custom playbook, by compartmentalizing all your schemes. So let's just say that I wanted to add single back Y trips. That's a whole other scheme, right? You could add some gun stuff. So let's quickly, how long are we into this video? We're 7 minutes in. You can turn the video off now if you want to. Basically, all the information you need is there. I will go a step further and just talk about if it's still not clear in your mind. I'm going to go here. So now we've got everything good for the trio. So now we want to go to single back, 3 wide receivers, right? So we want to now add the Y trips and Z trip. So here we go. So now we've added these, and they're going to be side by side. Now it comes down to anything that you add, okay, from here on out. The idea is the scheme is going to be compartmentalized in the sense that I've got 1 tight end and 2 wide receivers on the right, and then the running back, and then the 1 wide receiver on the left. So that's why Y trips and Z trip go perfect together. Then what we can do is we can save at this point, and then we can go to the gun Y trips formation, right? Which is the same thing as Y trips under center, except the quarterback and the running back are now in a gun. So you can go and you can add a couple plays here, you know, and then you just have to keep going back and forth between practice. And let's go back to single back here, and let's see what else. What else could we add, right? That goes along with the scheme. No, dice slot, the guy would have to move. See, triangle would have to move all the way over from right to left, so that's not going to work. And you're just looking, okay, well, what can I add? Let's see, you know, you're going through your playbook. Nope, that's the opposite side. Nope, you got the guy in the slot there. No, I mean, it's not bad. If it's a tight formation, it's not that bad. Trio, everybody's on the left. So trio is something you can add, and a buddy of mine actually does really well out of the single back trio. Now, I tried to add that to my trio scheme for gun and everything because of the run, because you could audible down out of gun trio to single back trio, and that it would be like a really quick transition, and you could run the stretch and stuff like that. I didn't do so well with it. I wasn't as comfortable. As you can see, it's got Smash Texas and stuff like that, but he was really, really good at it. So, you know, that's certainly something that you can do. Here, wing trips, that's very similar to single back Y trips. This is not. So that's basically how you go about and do everything. Now this looks similar, but it's actually that's not the same personnel. So that is how you create a custom playbook and compartmentalize your schemes. You do the same thing with every personnel type. And you just make sure that everything is side by side when you go into your practice mode. And then when you're playing your games, right? We all know that when we have a custom playbook, it can be very, very difficult when you're, oh, where's this formation? And all the like certain clicks that you have to go through. You're going through formations to find something. And it's like, man, where is it? Where did I put that? So it makes it really, really easy, right? So that is everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Madden 18 is just around the corner. I cannot wait. And good luck to you guys in your CFM. I hope you win a Super Bowl. I hope this helps you win a Super Bowl in your CFM. And I'll see you next time.